And hello to all my Leo friends. I'd like to welcome you in. My name is Scott Sagent, and today I'll be doing your free Psychic Tarot reading for September 2023. Now today they have dialed up for my great Leos a Celtic Cross spread. Celtic Cross is a great spread for general readings because it looks a little bit in the past, a little bit in the future, but it focuses the most on what is going on right here, right now. In this case, it is September. It is also the only spread that I do that devotes an entire card, a position, to the environment. So there's something around you Leos in the month of September that they want to bring your awareness to. They've asked that I conclude your reading with an extra spread at the end, a very interesting one that I call Telling Time. Telling Time answers the question, when? In this case, when what? Well, they're going to tell us. It's going to be something that's very significant. Usually it happens in the future. There's a date. It's like pulling a window of time that they want to bring your awareness to for a certain reason, and we're going to dig into all that and figure out what is that all about and what is that. What did they want to bring that up in your reading for? There's something in the future that they want you to be ready for, to the point where they want to tell you about it right here, right now, guys. We're going to conclude your reading with the Rune Stone, of course, and I got to tell you about all this new stuff we're doing too. Of course, we're doing your moon cycles. Rune Stone, I just told you about that. We got a brand new one coming in here, chemistry tracking, that is going to talk about the weak and strong connections for Leos in the month of September. Who are you compatible with? Who are you not? It's letting you know all that stuff. That's coming later in your reading, the extra spread we talked about. And we're concluding your reading with a set that I call Homily. It is a little spiritual pep talk that I think you guys will love and enjoy and bring you a little bit of strength as you finish through September, getting ready for October. So we're going to get started with your reading right now, guys. The cards are already shuffled and we got a lot to talk about, so let's get moving. I do this ahead of time to save us all a bunch of time. Right now I'm going to bring you in the overhead so you can watch. I like to share my table with you and show you what's going on, what I'm working with. I think we're on now. There we go. Live and recording. These are my ritual cuts, Leo. Cutting each deck into thirds, putting them back together in a separate order, and then we're ready to run them. Celtic Cross time. Now the Celtic Cross does get a little tall, and my screen here, my camera overhead view is a little bit wide. It's kind of wide angle, so I'm going to probably have to move it around so you can see everything. But anyway, here we go. This is you and all that you are. This is what crosses you. This is what's behind you, the recent past. This is what's in front of you, the near future. Pretty powerful lineup to start with, holy moly. This is what's above you, something that you're aware of. Now this is what's below you, something that you're not. So this is your main cross. How are we doing on the view? You can see most of it at least. We'll move it around in a bit. And then we got running up the sides. That's what I call it because it's what it is. It's running up the sides with number 7, number 8, number 9, and number 10. I'm going to bend in for the sake of the camera. Hopefully you can see that just like that. We only have a couple blocked inverted, so it's not enough to matter. And the only thing I really attach to the Celtic Cross is just the major arcanas. And these two being a set are going to just share one. It's going to be this one right there. This one here gets one as well. I got to scoot these over to make room. Major Arcana card gets imagined. Now we got one more over here, and now we're ready to go. Let me just show you everything. There we go. This is your main cross. I don't know why the lighting's being a little dark. Okay, it's the angle I'm holding it. And the glares I'm sure aren't helping. So this is your main cross. This is the attachment to this. So there you go with your cross. And then we got running up the sides. This is going to be number 7. Number 8, there's your environment. Number 9 and number 10. And while I'm just here, I just need to make sure that my 2 people cards are actually people, or we're using the energetic definition. I'm going to try to do this while I hold the camera. Sorry about that. Didn't realize that before. That is not a person, so that one's going to be the energetic definition. We got one more over here, this knight. Got attached to it. Okay, that is also not a person. So we are using energy definitions between my people. We are ready to go. Sorry about that funky camera work, but trying to get it in view for you. And let's get rolling. I'm going to move this around so it makes more sense to me. See it nice and clear. And Leo, what a month. What a month we have in store for my Leos. All right, looking at it clear, let's get started. You and all that you are is wish fulfillment with the star. Standing around naked, dumping water in a pond. Just kidding, but that is what's pictured. So this is the star card, wish fulfillment. It basically indicates that you're this month for you is very much about destiny. A lot of my Leos have momentum going on in September. It's actually less about your choices and more about direction, what Spirit has for you, what they have kind of like planned ahead for you. And maybe this is stuff that you've written into your life before you got here. Who's to say? But anyway, wish fulfillment is good stuff. And some of you are getting your wishes fulfilled as well. So it's just kind of all kind of good energy in there, swamped into one. And now the next thing they show here is my Lover's card. So this just is what's crossing you. So it's kind of like what's on your mind, what is in your forefront, what is in your focus. And this is your either relationship or close family member that they're talking about. Because what if you're single, then if the Lover's card kind of changes vibe a little bit here. It can be a close friend. Anybody close to your heart can come in there. They can also be talking about two entities working very closely together too. So this could be like, for example, you and a second job. You're just like working in tandem. Or this could be you and a coworker working together on a project in September. So anyway, this is two people, two things coming together for a purpose. And this is what is on a lot of Leo's minds, some version of that. Now, of course, this is a general reading. I have to remind you of that we have a lot of Leos tuning in here. I love you guys, but we have that bubble energy with the group. And if you're looking for just private, personal, specific messages only to you without the group energy, I do have a bunch of different readings available on my website, scottsagent.com, from small all the way up to full service. Whatever you're looking for, there's something for everybody there, and I encourage you all to get one of those. It puts this to shame. Even though I'm very accurate with this, Spirit does a great job. The personal private readings are just another level. So anyway, we have the Thinker card coming in here attached to the very beginning core group here. So they want you to, if that, for whatever reason, if that message didn't make sense to you, they want you to think a little harder on it. They want you to think a little deeper, like what are we trying to get Scott to tell you here, to just make a light bulb go off in your head and be like, oh, okay, he means that. I need this little piece to do that. Because, like I said, general reading. So they're trying to give you, generalities here to get ideas to kind of pop in so you can implement the positive change that goes with it. So they really want you to contemplate what this is and figure out the main group. That's maybe the most mysterious part of your whole reading. Maybe the rest of it is going to make perfect sense. Who's to know until we get there? Now, what they show in the recent past, this is something that has happened not too long ago. They show kind of action going backwards. So a lot of you kind of running back to your past for something here. Maybe a person, maybe a job, maybe just a problem solution, something that you've done in the past. Be like, oh, I remember when I made this meal for work and my coworkers loved it. I'm going to go and make that again. So they show, that's just a silly example, but you understand the vibe. So what they show is you going back to the past, recently in the past, so maybe August, something is around there. And now, why is that relevant for your September? They're bringing it up for a reason, because they want you to remember that you did this running back to the past. Either to learn from it or to repeat it if it's a good thing, to not repeat it if it's not a good thing. You got to learn these lessons, right? So that's what they talk about for your past. Now in the future position, Leo, it is getting good quickly. It is getting real good quickly with my Sun card, the best card in the tarot deck. I'm going to give you a little bit of Leo gold everywhere, little Leo gold here, little lions, golden lions everywhere. So we got some future looking very bright for my Leos, looking very nice there. And they want you to imagine with this too, what the next phase can be. Not just when it hits and you're feeling the good stuff. It's just like, you want to enjoy it, of course, but they're saying challenge yourself a little bit more here. Imagine what you can do with this. What do you want your next chapter to be about? Of course, this is a nice little kick, nice little hit of happiness, but dream state. Start imagining, start doing maybe some mental exercises to kind of figure out, what your next step is going to be after this. But so good for the future position. Now let's move up to your above position. This is something you are aware of, and that is that you are very defensive about something. What are you defensive about, Leo? Now, it is a wand card, so I do have to kind of start originally at the work corner, which is a big place: work, business, enterprise, area of study, collegiate courses, retirement if you're of that age, entrepreneurship for most people, the JOB, something like that. You may be holding your ground with right now and being like, yeah, I don't really like what they're doing. I got to defend myself here. Maybe you're under attack in some form. Maybe it has nothing to do with work. Maybe it's a family member that's attacking you. Maybe it's a friend who you thought was a friend and they turned out to be not. So I'm not sure what it is, but they show you in a defensive position. They feel like you're already aware of this, so I don't really need to spend much time on it because you're already aware of it. But they're still bringing it up for a reason, because I guess they're letting you know that they're aware of it too. So, you're being watched, you're in good hands, and you're protected and all that good stuff, right? When we get into your below position here, bottom position, I'm going to cut away because this is my favorite position in the Celtic Cross. This is telling you something you're not aware of now. So we're going to come right back to this after I do your moon cycles. I want to tell you about that new and full moon, and we'll be right back. Okay guys, it is moon cycle forecast time, and the moons for September are starting to calm down. September, October, through the rest of 2023, the moon cycles are a little bit more solemn. However, you can still use this energy, the full and the new moon, to implement positive change into your life, because after all, the moon does have a gravitational lock on this planet of ours, and it's strong enough to pull the water of Earth towards space. The water bulges, and that's what the tides do, moving in and out. And after all, aren't we mostly water as well? You think it has an effect on us? Absolutely it does. So here's what's going on. Linear speaking, the first thing that hits as we enter September, we're still dealing with full moon energy from August. Now, this is the best time to get stuff out of your life. I want to focus more on the full moon later in the month, but as we enter the month early, that's when most people are checking out these videos. So I'm letting you know that right now, it's a good time to break habits, a good time to get stuff out of your life. People wrap up projects, anything that's got to go. That is the energy of the full moon here early in September. Now I want to focus on the new moon, because new moon September 14th, this is going to be significant just because I got something special to share about the new moon. I stumbled upon this a few months ago and I was waiting for the right time to do it. And this is the moon cycle where I'm going to share it. This is from a very gnostic text. I forget which one it was. It might have been the book of Adam and Eve, one of these books that was held back from the Bible, from the Pope. And very interesting things, because all these events happen during the new moon. This goes back to the flood story, which is not just in biblical texts, but it's in a bunch of different religious texts. New moon, that was when Noah was commanded to make the ark. Happened on a new moon. And he entered in the ark, also on a new moon. New moon is when the water stopped. Of course, these are not sequential new moons. It's not just one after another, but these events happened under a new moon. Here's another one. The tops of the mountains were first seen under a new moon. The earth, like the bottom, the lower levels of the earth, became visible from the floods going down under a new moon. And finally, Noah went forth from the ark under, you guessed it, a new moon. So you think new moon's relevant? Or what else are they trying to tell us in that book? I would say it's quite important. So the new moon, best time to bring things into your life. Start something new. Start a new diet. Go for a new job. Try to get something new going in the work corner. Something new in the love corner. It doesn't matter. Whatever you're trying to implement into your life, the new moon brings in the manifest. So it's the best time to pray. If you're a prayer, or if you like to just manifest things with just meditation or whatever it is that you do, this is the best time, middle of the month, guys. And we get back into that full moon energy, like I told you, late in September. This is the key for getting things out. I know we talked about it being early in the month, but it happens stronger for September late. In fact, it's the 29th. So the very last few days of September are incredibly strong for getting things out of your life. Got something you got to sell, repurpose, finish up an old project, kick somebody out of your life, kick a bad habit. Doesn't matter what it is. That is full moon energy, guys. Use that to your benefit. And I also have a moon cycle cheat sheet that I always put on my website for you. It's there for free every single month. It's on my talking about page, stuff that I'm talking about. You can scroll down and see that moon cycle guide. It's a little visual aid just to help you understand how these energies move in and out. While you're there, make sure you're signed up for the newsletter as well. Give my newsletter people a couple great things every single year, usually in the terms of free readings, and also great promo codes. It's just one email that I send out every single month, so that is a no-brainer. Follow the Facebook page as well. That's for contests and giveaways, all kinds of great stuff on the channel. And before I let you go, I want to tell you about the brand new service on the website. It is called Pet Connect. By popular demand, people wanting to check in on their pets, see how they're doing. A little bit of profound stuff can be had in this way. I made this product very, very affordable. I want to make it super friendly so that anybody can check this out. I know I get asked all the time about pets. Are they in heaven? Can we check in on them? All this kind of stuff. Is it even possible? The short answer is yes. It is a complicated situation, but it can be done, and to the point where I've made a product to just deliver that service to my great clients. And that is available, scottsagent.com, launching on Labor Day, guys. Labor Day is the day for that. And when you see that launch on there will be a video that goes with it that talks all about it, shows you the ins and outs and how it works. So check that out as well. The gemstones in the shop are still buy one, get one with the free charm. Any gemstone purchase in the shop will come with a free charm as well as a free little bag. It's kind of like a buy one, get 3 items for free, and that is running through the end of the year, so that's worth checking out as well, guys. Let's get back to your reading. Okay, Leo, I am back, and it is time for the bottom position, something you are not aware of, and here they are telling you that you need to slow it down, Leo. You need to pump the brakes a little bit here with something. You got to release the gas, get off the accelerator pedal a little bit. You got to, like I said, pump those brakes. So you got to slow down with something. You're going way too quick. Going 100 miles per hour about something. Maybe about work. It is a wands again. They did bring that up for your above position as well as bottom, the work corner. But this can be other places, other corners of your life too. But anyway, it could all be up here. You could be going 100 miles per hour up here, and that's what needs to slow down. For others of you, you might be working yourself to death, working too hard, working long hours, and you're just wearing yourself out. Okay, you got to slow down. So whatever this is that you are doing excessive of, that you are going fast with, or overwhelmingly a lot of, or just bombarding yourself with, you got to slow it down. Spirit says so. That's what they brought up here. They're saying, hey, pull back those reins a little bit. Let those horses take a break. So there you go. When we go over here to number 7, this is now your advice section. This is talking about how Spirit is saying that you're really struggling balancing 2 areas of your life. And for most people, this is work and family. Love and work. Those 2 corners are usually the ones that are in disarray. Of course, health can come up there. You know, if you have a health condition that takes up the energy. If same with finance. If you have a big financial hit, you got to pay a ton of money for something that was unexpected. Well, that's affecting the other corners of your life too, especially home. So that's what they show, is that you're really struggling to kind of keep this in balance here. These 2 different areas of your life, whichever 2 they are. And the advice is that you're just going to have to. You're going to have to just juggle. September is the month where you're just going to have to figure it out. And they're letting you know that it's not going to be a perfect balance and that it's okay. So next we move up into your environment position. This is what the Celtic Cross was all about. This is more than likely one of the main reasons why they wanted me to do this for you. And what they talk about in your environment is a king, but they said not the person. So they're talking about authority. Authority with your mindset, the decisions you make, being very firm and being very good with your headspace here about what is going on. That is what is required around you. So you need to put yourself in a position where you can be in a good headspace. Okay, if you got like 8 kids crying in different rooms and they got all the friends over and there's chaos and pandemonium everywhere running around, that is not a good headspace for you. And this is the month where you need that. You need the tranquility, at least whatever it is that calms your mind is what you need. You got to set yourself up for success here in the environment. So just keep that in mind. Be very authoritative with your decision making and be in an environment that is conducive to that. We move up to number 9. Number 9 is hopes and fears. And they bring in the death card, and I don't read the death card like actual death. Now, if any of you have, somebody who is very, very close to the other side, very, very close to passing, to being deceased, something like that, this could be a fear of yours. And for some people who are very advanced, this could even be a hope, hoping that they pass so they can go to this wonderful place and not have to suffer here anymore. That is much rarer of a kind of vibe, but that is partially what this could be, but I usually don't read the death card like that. I just wanted to throw that out there first for those of you who are, dealing with that or dealing with something like that. And either way, if you are, you don't want to get stuck on the fear side of that. You just don't. You don't want to be on the fear side of anything, not just that. But we're going to talk about that more momentarily because the death card represents brand new clean slate. Just like when you pass, your energy doesn't just go away. It's the first law of thermodynamics. Energy cannot be created and it cannot be destroyed. It can only transmute and shift into something different. So that is what they're talking about here, is that this is a shift that you are either hoping for or are afraid of. And I hope you're not afraid of it. Do not be afraid of change, especially radical change. It's exciting and it's usually not that scary once you do it. Once you kind of map it out. Some of you even need to write out your stuff here, especially if you're trying to make a change, but it's a little scary to you, a little fearful about something. Write it all out. What is the worst that can happen if I do this? Basically when you see it all written out, it helps up here. And that's what they talked about for your environment. So they also bring up happy in here too. So a lot of you with the hopes that that something new can happen with that is a good vibration. I really want everybody to just get there. Get to the hope of that you can rewrite something brand new. Doesn't matter what it is, especially since we have that new moon that I kind of focused on for you guys. Show you the significance of it, bringing new things in. Now, they show happy, happy up here. So they really want you to be in a good headspace. They want you to be where this is a hope and not a fear. Okay, so do not fear change. And then to wrap up your month, we just have another good thing. Another good thing for Leo. This is my Ace of Cups. This is brand new love. Love overflowing. Good love energy. And just, for my single Leos, that's a good way to conclude. So I would focus on the last part of the month for that. And that came up for another sign too. I believe it was Pisces. So there is definitely some love in the air late in September for a few of the signs. However, what if you're in a relationship? What if you're coupled up? What if you're married? Love overflowing can be just having a great time with your loved one, having a great time with the family, just good energy to wrap up September, and it is just good, overflowing love everywhere, doing good things, doing things that you love, with the people you love, all that good stuff. Wonderful, wonderful way to end. So that is your main reading with your Celtic Cross. Now we're going to get into the extra portion of your readings. First thing I'm going to do is the Rune Stone while I'm looking at all of the cards. Also, good time to tell you that I have broken up. I'm doing a lot more work with the chapters here. So you can see in the chapters, your little YouTube bar there, all the different segments of the reading in case you got to come back to something again, or you can navigate the reading much better. So we're just giving these one more swirl and we're ready to go with Leo Rune Stone. It's going to be this one right here. And this has been a repetitious thing. There's been quite a few signs that got this one, so there's a lot of new journey going on. This is the Rune Stone of Journey. It reminds you that this is supposed to be exciting, and this is supposed to be fun. It really reminds me of that death card we read for you with, they were saying, happy, happy, get to the happy spot, get to your happiness. You got to have a good time. You got to have a little fun here with Journey. So Journey is something new that is exciting as well as it is scary. And with the journey, the advice behind it usually is just to be a little conservative with it. Doesn't mean you got to make drastic changes all at once. Maybe you can do, come halfway and then, give it a certain amount of time and come the other half, kind of like when you get in the pool slowly instead of just diving in, So that is the kind of energy that they talk about with Journey, is that it doesn't mean you shouldn't take the journey. It absolutely means you should, especially since we started with the Star card. This is the card about momentum. So you got a lot of flow going on. It's just like that snowball that rolls down the mountain. By the time it gets to the bottom, it is an avalanche. It's huge, this big, huge snowball. So there's momentum to your September. It ends very good. We have the Rune Stone of Journey. You can see how this all ties together. So now let's get into chemistry tracking, guys. Now, chemistry tracking, fascinating new one that I just started. And I've already done all the card work for it. So basically, I'm just talking about it, going over my notes. So for Leo, let me just tell you too that I always give Spirit an out. I always give them a chance to say, we don't want to talk about blank this time. But they gave you, your sign got both of them. There have been other signs that they were a little less chatty with. But for Leo, let me give you your week first. Leo, they're saying that the connection between you and Gemini is just, it's off in September. It's not the best. It's not the greatest. We talked about that new love for my singles, for my Leos there. I wouldn't go for Geminis especially at the end of September. Maybe some of the other signs. We're going to get to a pinpoint one for you here in a moment, momentarily. But the energy is just a little off between Leo and Gemini, and that can hit you in different ways. Maybe your boss is a Gemini and he's, going to be weird this month, or maybe your friend's a Gemini and you just butt heads about something, so that's the kind of energy that can show here. Now, adversely, we get into the strong energy here. Leo's very strongly connected to Virgos in September, and September is a Virgo month, and I am also a Virgo, so Leo's very connected to me and my Virgo friends. And going to the Virgo reading, which I just recorded tonight also, Virgo was strongly connected to Leo, and Spirit doesn't always do that. You think that it would, the male has to beat a female and plus to minus, but that's not the case, because there's certain times that they want to focus on different things. For example, maybe they wanted to give Virgo, get them to pay attention more to that they're connected to Sagittarius, for example, right? Doesn't mean that they're not connected to Leos. It's that Spirit wanted them to focus on that. And for both of the signs here, they wanted you guys to focus on each other. So, strong connection. You just don't see stronger ones than that, at least in September. So, Leos, be on the lookout for Virgos. Virgos, be on the lookout for Leos. Very strong there. So, Little off with Gemini, but the Virgo one is strong. There's your chemistry tracking for the month. Very interesting. Take that for what you will. And now we get into your extra spread, which is telling time. Now, telling time, I did not use that many cards. I did use my ace, though. So, since telling time uses aces, I do feel obligated to reshuffle. And that's what I'm going to do very briefly. So, I'll cut away for that so you don't get bored watching that. And I'll be right back. Okay, Leo, I am back with your telling time. It is time for telling time, and I'm going to ritual cut this deck one last time. Into thirds it goes, back together it goes, and we're ready for telling time. Now, the telling time goes in rounds. I'm basically looking for an ace which pinpoints my date. And if I get an ace in this first round, it's basically Spirit's way of saying, you know what, this is a huge date. You guys cannot miss it for the life of you. Very, very specific. And I may not. We may go to different round, which just brings the intensity down a little bit. Good time to remind you guys, too, that this is available. Telling time is available for a personal private reading as well. It's on the website, scottsagent.com, and a very powerful one that has brought a lot of people a lot of good information. And in fact, you can go back to, I think, about a week ago, I made a Facebook post about telling time. And one of the feedbacks for that. So here we go. First round was a dud. Nothing first round. So we go one more round. Now this just kind of lightens the energy a little bit. It's saying, well, this is still an important date, but it's just not something that, is going to be tied down to a week. This is kind of more of a, well, it could be a week, but it's more of like a fluid. You got to be a little bit more looser with the timeline that's attached here. And we do have your date. I just went through the motion to make sure there was only one date and not more. So I'm going to tack on time to it. We go 1, 2, 3. Talk about what it's about. And there we go. So now I got to do some math, do some calculations. I'll be right back. Okay, Leo, I am back with your telling time date. Interestingly enough, this date is not very far away at all. It's actually October 29th, but I like to bracket some time around it, so let's call it the last week of October. The last week of October is the date, the bracket of window for this thing that they're going to be talking about that they want to bring your attention towards. So what is this thing that they want to bring your attention towards? They say manifesting. Bringing the new thing into your life, like the new moon that we talked about. This is basically saying that you have the ability here, Leo, to start manifesting it right now, I'm assuming. So by the time late October, early November comes, it's here. You can start doing the self-work for that, because what they show is that there's something that's unfinished here. We got some unfinished business here. So either something you need to add to your life, maybe it's a person, maybe it's something material, maybe it's a car, maybe it's a job. There's something that's unfinished, that you feel unfinished about or unsettled with, that you really want to get done within the next, 2 months, essentially, basically a 2-month window, something that you need done in 2 months. This is the time where Spirit is saying you got to start working on this right now. So there's your telling time. Now, the last thing that we're getting into, we're going to end your reading with homily. That is a little spiritual pep talk that I think you guys will enjoy, give you guys some strength moving through September. Okay, guys, it is time for your homily, September 2023. The very first homily ever is being recorded right now. You are a part of history, guys. So the topic that I want to talk to you about today is a realization that I had at a water park last month, of all places. That's what kind of inspired me to tell you this story and kind of make this part of your extended reading. And I took my daughter on a small mini vacation to South Florida. That's kind of where this whole thing started. Went to a water park. It was very small, but very nice, very pleasurable. It had a little kids section, a couple larger slides for more of the adults. The kids love that too. And a lazy river, which of course everybody likes. And you know what a lazy river is more than likely. And if you don't, it's just a small little stream that current pushes you around, mostly in inner tubes. So this is where my story takes place that I wanted to share with you guys. I was going down the lazy river, and it was a small course. It maybe took you about 10-15 minutes to go around the whole thing. And they had some good water squirts that would happen. You know, sometimes it was like a waterfall where you just got penetrated by water, just that was like free falling. Other times it was pressurized, like more of like a squirt gun and like a spray, and just different kind of textures and varieties that you'd pass through and go under. And it was very nice. And I'd been through it a couple times, and my good friend took my daughter to go on the big slide. She wanted to go on the big slide, so I was in the lazy river by myself, and I'd already been around the course a couple times by this point, so I knew the course pretty well, at least I thought I did. And I decided, you know what, I'm just going to try something a little different here. I'm sitting on this inner tube, going down a nice little current in a course. I decided to close my eyes and see what changed when I did so. Now, everything changed. First of all, your senses heighten. When you're looking like this, you're blindfolded, your hearing, especially there. Hearing was what's heightened the most for me. I was hearing that water coming way ahead of time, and I was apprehensive. I didn't know when it was coming. I just knew that it was. And I didn't know if I was going to be pushed into it or if I was going to be pushed around it, because there's kind of different ways you could go. And it just changes things when you don't see it. When you cannot see what's coming, it changes the way that your body reacts to it. It's just almost like a chemical reaction. And you don't have a choice in the matter. It's just the way that it is. And it wasn't scary, but I could see for some people that it could be. And the only reason it wasn't scary is because I knew I was safe. If I was doing that like in an actual river, I would be a little scared, because I'd be wondering if that noise I'm hearing is actually like a waterfall or like a pretty big drop, or something dangerous was going to happen to me. Of course, it was a controlled environment, so it wasn't scary, but you still had the stress. You still had the apprehension and the nerves very heightened. So the realization that I ended up having, basically the moral of this whole story, is that it reminded me of people who do not seek any kind of spiritual progress with their daily path, their daily lives, tarot readings, a little bit of divination and forecasting, because that's what it does. It allows you to open your eyes to see the things that are coming. Most people are just driving blind. They're going through their entire lives like this. What I do, the ability to forecast and share my divination with you in this way, and with my personal private readings especially, you can look into all that stuff. You can see the things that are coming. You can plan and prepare a little bit for things. So it's not so scary. You don't have to be apprehensive about things. It gives you a calm, just knowing when things are coming and how you can align certain things to these occurrences that are in some ways going to come regardless. Sometimes you go around it. Sometimes you go through it. So that is your homily for September 23. Thank you so much for tuning into the readings. I hope you have enjoyed it as much as I have delivering it to you. I hope you have a great September. I know you will.
So I guess the fortune teller's right.